For the sixth consecutive day, Syrian authorities have refused to allow Russian military transport vessels to dock at Tartus, Syria's second-largest coastal city after Latakia, Crimean Wind monitoring group. The Russian military transport ship Sparta II continues circling in neutral waters near Tartus, unable to enter the port. Other Russian vessels are also attempting to navigate the situation. The military transport ship Baltic Leader is heading toward Tartus. The Lady Mariia is returning to the Baltic Sea. The tanker Ivan Skobelev was last detected 3 days ago near Sicily. Russian ships cannot enter the Syrian port of Tartus in the Mediterranean Sea as they have not received permission from the local authorities, says the spokesperson of the Ukrainian Navy, Dmytro Pletenchuk. The situation in the Mediterranean Sea is very interesting. Russian ships are still at sea. They have not been permitted to enter the base point. As of now, they have been on the outer roadstead for several days and cannot enter the port, Pletenchuk said. Recall, Russia deployed its military contingent to Syria in 2015 to support Bashar al-Assad's regime in its civil war, which had already been ongoing for 4 years. On December the 8th, Ukraine's military intelligence reported that the Russian army has been withdrawing its forces from Syria following the collapse of Assad's regime, including naval assets from the Tartus base and remaining weaponry via military aircraft from Crimean Air Base. On December the 9th, CNN Turk, citing sources, reported that Russia had requested Turkey's assistance in safely evacuating its troops from Syria. On January the 3rd, Ukraine's military intelligence said that Russian forces at the Tartus naval base were awaiting military ships to transport weapons and equipment from Syria to Libya. Russia has been using IL-76MD and AN-124 100 military transport aircraft to remove its forces and weaponry from Syria, according to Ukrainian intelligence. However, as of January the 9th, the evacuation of Russian weapons and equipment has stalled. The new Syrian government is refusing to allow Russian ships to enter Tartus, where Russia's only foreign naval base is located. Without clearance from the new Syrian government, the evacuation of Russia's military assets from Tartus has stalled, according to Maritime Executive. The Crimean Air Base, serviced by Russian Defense Ministry flights, reportedly remains the only active evacuation route. After the fall of Bashar al-Assad's regime, Russia began withdrawing some of its troops from Syria. After a while, Ukrainian intelligence reported that it was facing problems evacuating soldiers from the country. Russian ships Ursa Major, which was transporting strategic cargo, sank in the Mediterranean Sea after an explosion in the engine room. The ship's owner company, Oberon Logistica, said that 3 explosions hit the starboard side before the sinking. The Russians believe the ship was sabotaged.
Silver Dawn, operated by Silver Sea Cruises, became the first international cruise ship to visit Shanghai this year, arriving at the Shanghai Port International Cruise Terminal at the North Bund in Hongkou District on Wednesday. More than 400 tourists from the US, Australia, Canada, Switzerland, the UK, and other countries embarked from there on a 2-day sightseeing trip around the city, with the majority benefiting from China's visa-free entry policies, according to staff member from Shanghai General Border Inspection Station. The tourists were welcomed with lion dance, martial arts performances and intangible cultural heritage experiences right after they landed. The Silver Dawn cruise ship is scheduled to stay in Shanghai for 2 days before continuing its global voyage to Tokyo, Japan. Kremlin spokesman Dmytro Pletenchuk said on Friday that Russian President Vladimir Putin has repeatedly spoken about his openness to dialogue with global leaders, including U.S. President-elect Donald Trump. He made that remark after being asked by a journalist about Trump's comment on a possible meeting with Putin after the president-elect takes office later in January. Answering a question about whether Moscow attaches any conditions to the possible meeting, Peskov said, "There are no conditions. A mutual desire and political will to conduct dialogue and solve existing problems through dialogue is required. We are seeing that Mr. Trump declares his readiness to solve problems through dialogue and we welcome that," Peskov said during a conference call with reporters. "We proceed from mutual readiness for a meeting," Peskov said, adding that no specifics are known yet. Peskov also said that Russia's negotiating platform is well known. "Regarding the conflict in Ukraine, our position has been consistent and clear," the president has repeatedly spelled it out. "It's clear to everyone bearing in mind conditions on the ground," he said. Commenting on Ukraine's meeting on Wednesday with Western allies in Germany, Peskov said that numerous differences regarding perspectives, modalities and efficiency of further assistance are growing. "We are closely following the process," he said. The U.S. under the current leadership intends to do everything to continue the war, and European countries naturally follow the course. Asked about the Biden administration preparing to announce another round of anti-Russian sanctions, Peskov responded that, "We are aware that the administration will try to leave as difficult legacy in bilateral relations as possible for Trump and his team, and it's quite possible that another round of sanctions could be introduced."
Президент Путин неоднократно заявлял о своей открытости к контактам с международными лидерами, в том числе с президентом Соединенных Штатов Америки, и в том числе с Дональдом Трампом. Президент сам об этом неоднократно говорил, мы неоднократно об этом говорили, и никаких условий для этого не требуется. Требуется желание, обоюдное желание и политическая воля вести диалог и решать существующие проблемы посредством диалога. Мы видим, что господин Трамп также декларирует свою готовность решать проблемы через диалог. Мы приветствуем это. Конкретики пока по-прежнему никакой нет. Исходим из обоюдной готовности к встрече, по всей видимости, после того, как господин Трамп войдет в овальный кабинет, уже будут какие-то движения. В том, что касается конфликта вокруг Украины, наша позиция последовательна, она предельно четка, ее неоднократно излагал президент, она хорошо понятна всем с учетом реалий на земле. Ну, мы видим, что там растут противоречия, и видим, что появляется много разногласий по перспективам, модальностям оказания дальнейшей помощи, эффективности и так далее. Мы, конечно же, внимательно наблюдаем за этим процессом. Соединенные Штаты при нынешнем руководстве, которому осталось в офисе 10 дней, при нынешнем руководстве намерены дальше делать все для продолжения войны. Разумеется, европейские страны идут в фарватере этой генеральной линии. Мы отдаем себе отчет в том, что администрация, конечно же, будет пытаться оставить максимально тяжелое наследие в плане двусторонних отношений приходящему Трампу и его соратникам. Ну и в русле этих усилий, конечно же, вполне возможно, что очередная партия